Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And take a wild guess. Is it windy or calm? You can't tell by looking at the dog, can you? How about if you look up this way? Yes, the winds are gusting, but they're not that super strong like they have been. So I'll get along with it. It's going to be a short today because I was down with one of the neighbors about 2 or 3 miles from here and hooked him up with some temporary solar because he has no power at all, and he's like probably pushing 80, and can't leave a guy like that without power, right? So he'd been running generators, trying to keep up with generators, but has to shut those off early and go to bed and no power all night long. So he gets his refrigerator down to temperature and leaves it closed for the night, and then through the next day so that he can keep his food from spoiling. But that's no way to live, right? Unless you really, really have to. So I brought him my old power jack Liar inverter, which says it's got 8,000 watts and actually only has 2,000. But it was good enough to get him powered up, and since it's a low frequency split phase, I was able to tie it right into his electrical panel and give him some power straight into his regular power unit. It's a long story about how he lost power, because he did have grid for a while. It's a long story I don't want to go into. It's probably not my place to tell his story online, right? So, I was contacted about getting him set up with some solar, and I did. I went down there and got him set up. Now, I've also got all the information he needs for the stuff he's going to order. So within the next couple of days, we'll get those orders in so that he can get the real stuff he needs. And like Tony and Leanne said from doing Redneck Things Off Grid in their latest video, they're happy with their SunGold Power 10K 48 volt. So I think maybe that's what we're going to set this guy up with, and that should power his place without a problem, because his place is actually 3 RVs joined all together as one house. So Tony and Leanne at Doing Redneck Things Off Grid run 3 RVs on their system, their 48 volt system right now. So I'm going to try to get him discounts from the electronics companies that sell batteries and that stuff, and just have him order them while I'm there. And when they come in, I'll go over there and charge him minimum wage to tie everything together and give him the power he needs. Because I heard him today told me that it's been a year since his wife passed away, and he's met somebody else and he might get married again. So if she's going to be moving into the house, they're going to need power there. And they're going to need power so that the kitchen runs fine and their swamp cooler runs fine, and they have lights all over the house. Right now, what I set him up with is he's got one LifePo 4 battery, and the charge controller was a Powmister that I had problems with in my van. It's just enough to get him by. It's not going to stay there. But he also needs to run a water pump and all that stuff so he can have water pressure at the house. And sorry I didn't get to know him sooner, because he has the Harbor Freight shallow well pump, and he has like 5 of them laying around. And I said, what's going on here? He says, well, they keep going out. They just keep cycling. They won't shut off. I said, oh my God, I wish you'd have known me earlier. It's a very simple fix. It's just an air leak. I've done a couple of videos on that. If anybody wants to know about that, let me know and I'll direct you in the right direction. So anyway, yeah, he's got a bunch of extra shallow well pumps there. So anybody, any of my neighbors that thinking about it, need a shallow well pump to pump some pressure into their place. I'll show you how to get one off of him, buy it at a really good discount, and repair it in a couple of minutes with no parts needed. It's just basically some loose screws and pumping up the right pressure into the bladder. It's that simple. And once that's all done, you got a pump that'll run just perfectly on 120 volts AC. Really nice. All right, so with all of that being said, I had some visitors also today. Came over to borrow my rolling magnet, pick up a bunch of screws and stuff from one of the old grow areas. And we went inside the garden house, and on the mouse and rat problem, strange as can be, I got one mouse in a trap, and then I found one mouse dead inside of the chicken coop. Chicken Little, the rooster, must have taken care of that. And I got both of those out of there, and I haven't had anything happening in the chicken coop or the garden since those two mice were dead. Now, last night I forgot to close the back doors of my van, and when I got to the van this morning, I opened the driver's door, and there was some chewed up paper from my little trash bucket I have inside the van for trash. Some hamburger wrappers and things like that were chewed up right by my door, my driver's door. So a critter got into the van overnight through the open door on the back of the van. So I am hoping it got back out again. When the sun came up, it decided it's too light in here. I'm getting out of here and go find a place to hide. So if I notice there's anything in there tomorrow morning, then I've got to make sure I get that sucker out of there before it chews any wires in the van. It won't like it in there very long at night because I got a fan that runs constantly. That's a constant noise, and there's lights that come off of the inverter and that stuff. So those might help. Anyway, looks like I got to do poop patrol here. These little guys recycle food through them like it's on a jet plane. It goes in the mouth and right out underneath the back tail. They're pretty quick with it. So these guys are going to move over to an adoption center real soon. And little cuties like this guy right here doing his thing. I call him Brown Socks. And I got another one that got two white feet like that, but he's all black, so he's Black Socks. And I think that's him right. No, that's not him. That's who I call Tippy, because he got a white tip on the tail and a white tip on the foot. So that's Tippy. So they're all doing well. Oh, there's Black Socks over there. Two white front feet. They're growing up fast, so I'm going to get those over to the adoption center real quick. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is G Bear signing off.